divine light holds the power to bring transformative change into your life, far beyond what traditional prayer, magic, or metaphysical practices can achieve. So I would like to share with you some techniques that are designed to help you discover this divine light and to guide you on how to connect with it and teach you to harness its power to create a life filled with success, growth, health, prosperity, and happiness. Similar to the laser, the divine light operates according to specific laws, and it will work for anyone who learns to use it correctly. The color spectrum embodies the very essence of life itself, whether it appears naturally as a rainbow or is created by refracting sunlight through a prism. The rainbow is a profound symbol of beauty, energy, and power. This goes beyond what we talk about in the color magic course. The color magic course is more focused on creating color talismans, whereas this is more focused on working with the light specifically. The color red, which is associated with the base chakra or the root chakra, is very energetic, but it's also very grounding. It has the lowest rate of vibration on the color spectrum. A lot of times people think that since red is a slower vibration, that it's inferior. It's not inferior. All the colors are exactly what they need to be. People sometimes shy away from working with the color red because they're afraid of it. But red can ground you. Red can energize you. It can connect you to your own power. As you add white to red, it becomes pink. Depends on how much white you add. And that goes with any of the colors that we work with. White light can transform any of the colors that we're working with. Pink and red are both related to that root chakra. The color orange is the sacral chakra. That's halfway between the navel and the root chakra. And it's a very warm and creative color. It's also very energizing and healing. It promotes emotional balance and is one of the colors that helps with intuition. It's a very attractive and magnetic color, frequently associated with joy and pleasure. Orange gives us pleasure, intuition, self-expression, creativity, and healing. Very magnetic color. Yellow, which is associated with the navel chakra, or some people call it the solar plexus, is a color of personal power, self-esteem, and mental clarity, which a lot of people don't understand. They think that the mental clarity should somehow be in the head, but the solar plexus is where you can purify your mind. Green is in the heart chakra and is a very balanced color right in the center of the spectrum. It can be very soothing, but it can also be very revitalizing. It's a color of prosperity. It's a color of growth, balance, love, compassion, and healing. The color blue, especially the lighter to the medium colors of blue, are very calming and communicative. Blue is in the throat chakra and is the color of self-expression, clear communication, authenticity, and is another very healing and calming color. As the blue gets darker toward indigo, you can, if you're not careful with that color, move into a depressed state. If you're dealing with depression, you want to either lighten up the blue or use a red or orange color. The indigo is that deep blue, that navy-looking blue color. It's very intuitive. It's very insightful. It sits at the third eye, and it supports our spiritual awareness, our intuition, our inner wisdom, but it also supports us in seeing the truth, not the illusion. We see what things really are as we open that up. It's more than just being psychic. It's being willing to see things as they are, not necessarily our illusions of how things are. And then the violet color is right at the crown, and it's very regal, it's very spiritual, and it's associated with superconsciousness, a connection with the divine, our higher self, spiritual enlightenment in general. If we associate this concept of divine light with the angel system that we work in, the white light would be associated with Lucifer, because that's what light is. Light is Lucifer. A lot of people get freaked out by the name Lucifer. So if you don't like that, you can say Lumiel, or you can just call it the light. So if the name Lucifer bothers you, you can omit that term from your vocabulary. In Genesis 1, when Elohim said, "Let there be light," that was the creation of Lucifer, the first creation, the first angel. All light is that. So the white light is that. And when that light is refracted, that is in the legend of Lucifer, when the different angels were created out of that one light. There are many ways to associate planets and angels with the chakras, but the easiest way is to use their colors to identify them. This is not the one and only system, but it's a wonderful system to use. So the red at the root can be Samael, Mars, Michael, the sun, at the spleen, Raphael, Mercury, yellow, at the navel, Anael, Venus, green, at the heart, Sachiel, Jupiter, blue at the throat, Cassiel, Saturn, indigo at the brow, Gabriel, moon, violet at the crown, and that risen Kundalini, before it gets to the white light of Lucifer, is a red violet. The red violet is the only color that's absent from the natural spectrum of the rainbow. It requires human intervention to bridge the gap in nature. It symbolizes the risen Lucifer. Much like the rise of Kundalini, the process of spiritual evolution represents a transformative journey, one that unfolds only when one actively engages in their spiritual growth. You hear about people having spontaneous Kundalini awakenings. I'm not sure I always buy it. Say you go to a trainer at the gym and you say, "I don't want to look like a bodybuilder." You don't just lift a couple weights and say, "Ooh, my gosh, how did I start looking like a bodybuilder?" It takes commitment. It takes dedication. And the same with the risen Kundalini. It doesn't just happen. I think a lot of times when people have psychotic breaks and things like that, they want to blame it on the risen Kundalini. It's not so easy to have a risen Kundalini. You have to have a lot of commitment. As you consider the correlations for each of those colors, you can recognize how practical this can be. At any period of time, you may need an extra dose of a particular color of light. One way you can do that is by choosing colors in the clothing you wear. If you have to wear a uniform or something like that, you can't do that with your external clothes, but nobody can force you to not wear a certain undergarment color. So even if you can't wear a certain color of clothing, you can wear a certain color of clothing underneath your clothes. For years, I've used color in this way and found it to be far more helpful than anybody would expect. The idea of just choosing very purposefully a color for the day based on what I want to see my day look like. If you're feeling physically drained, you can incorporate some red into your attire. Choose blue to enhance healing or spark your creativity. Every natural color in the spectrum has its purpose and deserves thoughtful consideration. I want you to be able to have an experience of this light. We're going to attune you to the light. When you do this basic exercise, you may have a big experience. You may see the whole room flashing with light, or you might have a subtle experience, or you may not have any experience at all. Either way is fine. It's still working, regardless of what you think is happening. It's a matter of coming back to doing it daily. And if you can incorporate this exercise into your daily experience, not only are you going to have a very magnetic and clear aura, but you're going to notice things falling into place without as much effort on your part. It's a good idea to do it in the same space every day if you can. It's a great idea in general with spiritual practice to have an altar or a corner of the room or someplace that you go to every day, because the deep mind is a creature of habit. As you establish that habit, it makes it easier for you to have a more productive experience. However, it's not limited to something that you do at your altar. You can do this attunement anywhere at any time that you need to. Find yourself seated comfortably in a chair. If you can sit comfortably on the floor cross-legged, that's fine, but as long as your spine can stay straight without a lot of tension. I prefer sitting in a chair. I like that Sphinx posture with my palms resting gently on my knees or my thighs. Once you've found yourself seated in a comfortable position, begin taking a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, feeling the tension releasing from your body gently with each exhale. Picture a powerful beam of light, like a searchlight or vibrant sunlight, streaming down from a point right above you. Feel the warmth of this light as it surrounds you, radiating energy. Imagine it washing away anything from your mind, aura, and body that you do not want, easily, gently, completely. Imagine it leaving every cell refreshed and revitalized. Allow yourself to bask in this light for a few moments. Notice this focused beam of light directed to the base of your spine. Concentrate here, feeling the intensity of the light as it stimulates this root center. It amplifies the deep, radiant red light associated with it. As this red energy grows stronger and more vibrant, let it build to the point where you feel that its power is almost overwhelming. Next, guide this beam of light upwards, moving it from the root center to that sacral center, right between the root and the navel, amplifying this bright, vibrant orange light. Concentrate this orange light. Allow this orange light to expand and grow. Feel it amplified, this radiant orange light right at that sacral center, growing stronger and more vibrant, building in intensity. Then notice that this light starts to lift itself up to the navel center. Allow it to amplify this glowing yellow light that's naturally here. Feel this yellow light growing more and more intense, more and more beautiful and vibrant. Now feel this light moving up into your heart. Let this green light intensify as your heart expands and opens, feeling warmth, love, and harmony as this green light encompasses every aspect of your mind. Intense green light, promoting prosperity and growth and healing. Then this light starts to move up into your throat. Feel this light enriching the blue light at your throat. Beautiful, gorgeous blue light permeating this center of clarity, self-expression, and truth. Feeling safe within your truth as this blue light expands to every aspect of your mind. Feeling healed, peaceful, prosperous, serene, and joyous. This light moves up into your third eye, that point right between your eyes, and you see this deep indigo light, this beautiful indigo light, a deep blue light, opening up that third eye. Notice how safe it feels to see the truth, to see everything as it really is, to let go of your illusions in a wonderful way. Life beyond illusions becomes so beautiful, so perfect, and you see the perfection in everything. This light moves right up to the crown of your head, illuminating this beautiful violet light at the crown of your head, opening you to higher awareness, higher consciousness, oneness, your entry to all of the higher planes. Above you, see a center vibrating red violet. It vibrates so intensely. This is your guide. You always have this guidance available to you. And as that red violet light becomes more intense, it starts to vibrate white. And it becomes one with that first light that you started to see. And this white light encompasses every aspect of your mind and your body, and all of your chakras start to vibrate. You can bask in this experience of the divine light for as long as you like when you're doing this. But for now, we're going to let all excess energy drain from the body, gently into the earth, let go of everything else, feeling refreshed, cleansed, and pure, knowing that you can come back to this divine light anytime you want to. You can practice this every single day. You can do this twice a day. Instead of thinking of this as only balancing your energy centers, which is wonderful, think of it as you connecting with the divine light, which is a living entity. The other thing you can do, and this is something that I would recommend that you take 7 weeks, doing one per week when you get used to working like this every day, is take the red at the base of your spine, attune to that light like we did. You feel that white light flooding through every aspect of your being. And then you notice that that light starts to focus at the base of your spine. But this time you're going to take the red up to each center, and you're going to see each center vibrating with red. Make sure that you always do that by carrying it up through the crown chakra and up to that super chakra above you. Carry it all the way through, up to the risen Lucifer above the top of your head. Have all of those chakras vibrating red. And just notice that you can utilize that red light throughout every center. The next week, do it with the orange light, where you bring that orange light through each center. Starting at the base, bring the orange light through each chakra. And then you do that with each color. And notice how each color on the spectrum can work through each chakra so you have your aura filled up with one color at a time. And just notice that you can do that. You can work with these different colors of light. And as you get very good at this and you practice this again and again, different ways of working with these colors, those colors are always available to you. At a moment's notice, if you need something, you can just take a moment to attune to the light, vibrate that light at a specific color, and direct that light to wherever it needs to be. You have this available to you because you've been practicing. But if you don't practice with the light every day, it's not going to be as effective. It may work a little bit, but it won't be necessarily as effective as if you practice this every day. I would take a couple months and really dedicate to working with the divine light, working through the light. Yes, it is dealing with the chakras, but you're using the chakras as points of entry to interface with the divine light. When you do that, and over time, as you become more attuned to the light in all of its colors throughout each energy center, your ability to work with each of those colors is enhanced. You have a lot of power when you can tune the light spectrum in your aura. Like I said, working like this sometimes works more effectively than spell work, affirmations, prayers, things like that. You're working directly with the light itself, and you're working with the angels in a different way than through petitions. This isn't replacing petitions, it's enhancing all of that. Focus your intention with a gentle affirmation. And you'll understand that as you're working with these colors of light, that these are not just abstract colors. You're working with the angels specifically. When you work with the red light, you are working with Samael specifically, When you work with the green light, you're working with Anael specifically, etc. Now, that doesn't mean that the angels also don't respond to other colors, but if you give yourself time to commit each of the colors of the rainbow to specific angels and where they are in your chakra system, it just gives you another point of reference where it's a lot easier to directly work with them. They're not limited to these colors. They're not limited to these chakras, obviously, but it gives you a language. It gives you even more power. And as you've noticed, the angels and the colors are not limited to specific chakras. You can work with each angel and color throughout each of those chakras in your body. And it's interesting because you have more control over the colors that are in your aura that way. A lot of times people think you have this color aura, that color aura, and that's just how it is. And it may change, but it's based on how you feel, or it's based upon what you're thinking. That is all very true. But you can directly change the colors in your aura by visualizing them, by seeing them, by working with them. And if you want a rainbow colored aura, which people sometimes claim is so rare and unique and wonderful and it's reserved for only special people, you're a special person by deciding to be one. You can create your aura as you want it to be. Your results in the physical world start to reflect that as well. So this is a wonderful system, and I recommend that you work with the divine light, and you work with the colors, and you work with the angels like this for a while, just so that you can have that experience of being one with the divine light on a very deep level. I hope you enjoy this. Until next time, blessed be.